Hey everybody, welcome to viewer questions for today. I want to talk about mainly about what's going on with the Ecuadorian embassy. I got a little bit into it in the last Redacted Tonight, but I want to give you guys a little bit more of a play-by-play of exactly what's going on there and why it's so fucking insane and what it has to do with the Secret Service, why our Secret Service are involved in it. But I also want to start off by saying thank you to Detroit and Chicago. I just got done with shows there. Just got back to Washington, D.C. They were wonderful shows. Thank you all for coming out. It was so great to see everybody in Chicago and Detroit with Eleanor Goldfield, Krish Mohan, and we had Lou Fuki and Tazeen play on another show as well. Anyway, hope I can come back soon. For those of you in New York City, I'm coming there next. I will also, in not long, be in Minneapolis and Montreal. And, of course, we tape with a live audience here in Washington, D.C. That's all at redactedtour.com. You can find out about all that and get tickets. But there's a few tickets left for New York, not much. And also at the end of this, I'm going to give away the Max Blumenthal's book that I told you about last week. Signed copy of that, as well as 2 people will win my stand-up comedy special. But let's get to, and I'm going to answer a bunch of questions. One question that many of you have asked, and I think you'll want to hear the answer to that. But the Venezuelan embassy, this is, I mean, honestly, if I hadn't witnessed it with my own eyes, I think I'd have trouble really believing this is what's going on. So, it's right here in Washington, D.C., right? The Venezuelan embassy. And I know I've mentioned it before, but there's been some new things that have happened, so updates. So I don't want to, I'm not just repeating myself from what you've already heard. But as you know, it's the Venezuelan government, Maduro's government, which is the elected government. Juan Guaido has never been elected to be president of Venezuela. He just announced he was one day with the help of Donald Trump and John Bolton. And anyway, so they have invited a group of activists, many of them I know, to be in that embassy. Now the embassy is surrounded by these like violent right-wing pro-coup mobs, and you can go and read some of these Twitter threads and watch some of the videos, but they are incredibly violent, incredibly racist. They have, I know 3 people well, like people that I know well, who have women who were basically sexually assaulted. Their chests were grabbed intentionally as they're just trying to film what's going on. They're trying to report on it. So that's the way these people are behaving. These are not regular, like, oh, you know, we don't like what the politics of Venezuela is under Maduro, so we want other politics. Yay! This is not that. These are right-wing, fascist extremists who, along with that, they've blocked off the embassy. The Secret Service is helping the fucking violent mob. They're not letting them break in so far, the Secret Service isn't, but they are facilitating them, blocking off the embassy. They can't get food into the people that are there. The people that are in there, which I think there's about 20 of them, can't come and go as they please. They can't, if they leave, they will never be allowed back in. The Secret Service finally did allow some medicine in, but they're not allowing any food in. They're basically siding with the violent mobs in every case. So, an example is like these violent assholes they'll take bullhorns and stick them up to a peace activist. We're talking straight up peace activists. We're talking Code Pink. We're talking these people. A lot of them are elderly people, like grannies for peace and things that have little signs, and they're like, we don't want war. And then these people will come up and put bullhorns in their ears, so like inches away, and sound the whatever ambulance alert alarm or whatever the fuck it is into their heads, which, of course can cause migraines and seizures and shit. And if the person that they do that to smacks it away or tries to push them away, the cops then attack and swarm and arrest the person who was trying to get the bullhorn out of their face. So at every turn, the violent extremists are being left alone by the Secret Service. They're allowed to build tents. They're allowed to block off food. They're allowed to be violent. They're allowed to yell racist shit and all that. But the peace activists are not allowed to bring food, not allowed to be that close to the building, not allowed to put up tents. A member of Code Pink was arrested for putting up a tent while the right wing is allowed to put up tents. It's really bizarre. And our Secret Service is facilitating this. Like our Secret Service is working in cahoots with a violent right-wing mob that supports a U.S. coup of Venezuela. It's truly bewildering. And you know, the people inside that embassy that are holding the space for the elected government of Venezuela, as they say, they're holding the space. I know many of them. They are the best people. They are people that care about peace and people that care about not allowing U.S. imperialism to just destroy other nations. So, you know, if you want to continue to follow this story, help out however you can. There are obviously people that support those who are in the embassy, also down at the Venezuelan embassy protesting, but generally they stay on the other side of the street because if they get near the building, then the fascist mobs will attack them. But it is possible to go down there and not get hurt if you just want to be part of the support group. And that is right here in Washington, D.C. Just look up Venezuelan Embassy. But if you want to follow them on Facebook, that is the Embassy Protection Collective, the Venezuelan Embassy Protection Collective on Facebook. So you can find that. I have a lot of their posts over at Lee Camp Comedian on Facebook. If you want to find them there, that's another way to do it. And yeah, in terms of Twitter, I think it's at Code Pink. You can follow Code Pink as well. But anyway, you know how I feel. It's really disgusting to see. It's disgusting to see our Secret Service and our police siding with violent extremists and helping to block off food. And like, it should be illegal to stop food from getting into this embassy. There's no reason. There's no law. There's no reason that it should be illegal to bring food to the people in the embassy. Like, you get that, right? You get that it's because any other embassy in D.C., they're allowed to receive food, right? If fucking Uber Eats or whatever the delivery service is shows up to the French embassy in D.C., cops don't tase them, right? That'd be if the pizza delivery guy, the Domino's dude shows up. They don't just like punch him in the Secret Service doesn't just punch him in the sack and to put him in jail. So it's apparently only illegal right now at the Venezuelan embassy to deliver food. How does that make any sense? And legal observers say it's completely illegal what they're doing. Okay, let's get into some questions that you all had. This is from DID. Excited to see you, Eleanor and Krish, this past weekend. That was the shows we did in Chicago and Detroit. They say, guess my question is, what's y'all's favorite drinks? I like hemlock. No, I'm kidding. Don't try hemlock. It doesn't sit well. I'm a whiskey drinker. I like whiskey. I like dark beers, the porters and the stouts. Those are my favorite drinks. Sorry if it's not more creative. I don't know if you wanted I like whether you put in a drop of gin and then you take a guava fruit and you twist that 4.5 times. 4.5. If you do 3.5, it'll taste like ass. So you got to get 4.5 twists. If you do 5.5, you will go unconscious immediately. So exactly 4.5 twists of the guava fruit peel, and then the rind. Does guava have a rind? Probably not. So you put that in, and then you shake it up. You shake it with some ice. 7 cubes of ice. 6 you will die. 8 you will orgasm on the spot, which is uncomfortable if it's a big party. So you got to have the exact ice, exact guava. Don't fuck that up. But try it. It's a good drink. Yeah, just whiskey and dark beer. Okay, Chris C says most epic fight is in America. Okay, so I think I'll get to the rest in a second. Chris is responding to I think last week's question about someone asking whether they should stay and fight here in America or whether they should get the hell out. And so here is Chris's answer to that question. Most epic fight is in America because if the left can gain ground here, it would reverberate throughout the world. Just look at how Trump's election has emboldened authoritarianism since. The fight is here. I absolutely agree. In a lot of ways, yeah. One of the that's one of the reasons that America is the biggest fight to change this planet and this world is because if you could change the harm that America is doing with our endless war and our endless environmental destruction and the way we're living compared to the way they live in most countries, it would have massive impact, a massive impact. And I think he's right. The Trump's election has emboldened authoritarianism. Also, but it's also about how much Trump speaks out about it. For those who say, oh, Obama was trying to do so much good, but he just couldn't do it. You know how much more good Obama could have done if he really wanted to, if he'd just been talking about it endlessly, tweeting about it endlessly, if he'd been giving speeches every day, doing fucking campaign stops like Trump does once a week, even when he's not campaigning. He's at stadiums talking about how we, whatever racist shit he's saying or whatever. But if Obama were going around saying, look, we need to stand up against the prison industrial complex and we need to do something about climate change and the environment and I'm going to stop him deporting more immigrants than ever before. And like if he'd been standing up for those things, it would have made a huge difference even if he'd just talking about it. Even just saying it has that impact. So that's how Trump is having such an impact on the world. He's emboldening fucking dick helmets because he's talking about it. But Obama saw no need for that, No need. No need to give a speech about how we're the largest prison state in the world. No, not important. Zero Divisor said Tulsi might go on Redacted tonight. Tulsi Gabbard, he means. She's been making the rounds on most progressive YouTube channels. Well, all right. If you got her number, give her a call. Tell her to get on Redacted tonight. I'd love to talk to Tulsi Gabbard on Redacted tonight, but I haven't. My phone's not ringing off the hook as of yet. Samuel Bull said, hey, does anybody know how to get a hold of any kind of legal defense team or fund for Chelsea Manning? I don't know about the legal defense team, but I do know that her support site is xychelsea.is. That's xychelsea.is. And there's several things you can do there. One of the ones that they're promoting on that site, which I think could be important, is send her a letter. Because it talks about how lonely jail can be, prison can be. When you are a political prisoner, you don't know if people out there are supporting you. You don't know what's being said about you a lot of the time. And letters to her are apparently very important. But you have to, as it says on the website, which you'll see if you go check it out and click, I think, support her is the tab. You have to send the letter exactly right. Don't draw shit on the envelope or whatever the fuck. Just you gotta send it to the right place and have it written really nice and assume it's gonna be read because they read all jail emails. I don't know what you were gonna say in there that couldn't be read by fucking wardens or whoever the fuck reads their mail. But she's still in prison. She is a political prisoner yet again. It seems very obvious that the only reason they tried to put her in front of another grand jury is because they're trying to create some sort of charge against Julian Assange to get him extradited here, and they wanted to basically force her or trick her or something into saying something against him that she has not already said, because she's been asked many times whether he forced her, pressured her, or whatever into leaking classified documents to him, and she's always said no. And that's not good enough for them. That doesn't help them in their pursuit to persecute journalist Julian Assange, to crush him and torture him in American jails because we do our torture better. So they've got her locked up for fucking no reason. Go to xychelsea.is. All right, so this last question is a question many people have asked, and that is, where is John F. O'Donnell? you may have noticed he has not been on the show in a couple months. John's dealing with health issues, and I will just, for his own privacy, I will leave it at that. But I hear he is getting better, and I will let him know that you all are worried about him. It's not life or death or anything, so hopefully he'll be back on the show in not too long. But I'll let him know that many of you are asking and care about him. So let's see, winners for one winner for the signed copy of Max Blumenthal's new book, Management of Savagery, which gives the entire history of basically how the U.S. creates the terrorists that we then claim to be fighting, and we use that as an excuse to destroy many countries around the world. It's an incredible book. There's so much information in it. But the winner of that, because I asked you to submit to win last week, is Dora K. from Illinois. Dora K. from Illinois. We will be sending your signed copy to you. Also, if anybody wants to win a copy of my stand-up comedy special, a free download, just leave a comment under this, and we will submit you in the drawing. Each week so far, I've been picking 2 people to win a free download. If you want to purchase the comedy special, my new comedy special, for just it's less than $4, $3.90 or something. It's over at LeeCampComedySpecial.com. You can also email me at LeeCampLedger@ProtonMail.com. The winners of the comedy special this week are Matt Kyle and Christine Inman. That's Matt Kyle and Christine Inman. And in order to get your free copy, you have to email LeeCampLedger@ProtonMail.com and title it I Won or something, so that we can get that download to you. Okay, that's all I got for you, folks, but obviously there'll be a lot more on this week's Redacted tonight, and I hope you watched last week's. I hope you watched my interview, my full half-hour interview with Max Blumenthal about that book, Management of Savagery. That is up on this YouTube channel. And you can get this, you can get the viewer questions a day in advance or earlier if you are a member, not a paid member, but a subscriber of my other YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/LeeCamp and the number 2, LeeCamp2. The reason I have a second channel is because they may delete our channel at some point. They just deleted Press TV's channel, YouTube channel. So I don't know if they're going to erase our YouTube channel at some point in their pursuit of censorship. So I have a second channel, a backup channel. Please go subscribe to it. Hit the alert thing, the little bell next to subscribe, so you'll get the alerts. And you'll get the viewer questions a day in advance. You'll get web exclusive stuff. But I need you to subscribe to this channel, Redacted Tonight, and also the Lee Camp 2 channel. All right, until next time, keep fighting.